Hi everyone. Basically, what I'm going to be tying, I'll show you here. These are a couple of hopper patterns that I actually put on my Facebook actually, and YouTube on the community page, and it was a box of Dynamite Harry flies I was tying for the monthly draw, and I was tying this one here. It's just a black hopper, but it's a good heather fly. And I tied an olive version as well. Now you could tie them as many ways. You can tie them whatever way you like, colour wise and size. I've just tied it in. As I say, I was tying some Dynamite Harries, and I don't know how many messages I got between Facebook and YouTube asking if I could tie either. So I have a kind of black version on the internet, so I'm going to tie the olive version just to show you. Now, hook choice, again, it's up to yourself. I'm using this hook here. This is the full and mill hook. It's a Czech Nymph, size 16. Now what it is, obviously meant for nymphs, and I actually use it a lot for dry flies, especially in this style of fly. And other flies, I use it for emergers, I use it obviously for Czech nymphs. There is a heavier version, a heavy wire. This is the FM5065. So this is a sort of standard one. There is, as I say, a heavy one, but for a dry fly you want this one. And you see it's a black nickel. Thread I'm going to be using in this case, this is Olive Dun from Uni in 8/0. So we start at the eye, just come down to the point of the hook, remove the waste. Trim that a wee bit. And then I'm going to tie in some Coq de Leon fibres. This blends, this is a medium Pardo from Whiting. This blends into the body. I feel it's important, and don't be shy with a few fibres. So you're looking for that to be a body length, so you're looking round about the hook. The hook length there, tied on top. Just catch it on the top with a turn, a turn underneath just to lock in the fibres. And this blends into the body, gives it a lovely colour. These fibres are really nice in dry flies as well as this. Now, I'm using this is an old Poly Pro, this is an olive, it's a fish you can see. You can buy the Poly Pro, it comes off quite thick as you can see, and I just trim it to suit the size of fly. There's a couple of things, and I've got one here actually to show you, just to give you an idea. Now certain colours I can't get, now this one's got some black pen on it, just to give it like a dark olive, you can see. I quite like that. Now to get that, you basically I just use a Sharpie pen. If you imagine, I'll show you how I do it. I'm going to get another length just to. It's just something when I'm tying these flies, I'm always fiddling and trying different things. Now, what I'm going to do is just going to temporarily tie this on just now, 3 or 4 turns. To get the barring in it, the colour, I just tighten it up, and then I mark it with a Sharpie pen. But what I do is, if I want it round, so if I mark it there and then twist it, I'll go all the way around. And then you can do it the opposite way as well. And that will give you kind of a marblade or a mark like that. And then you can obviously trim it to suit the body. So if a permanent marker or a Sharpie pen or anything like that. Length, as I say, is round about the end of the tail. There's a couple of ways you can trim it with it. Because this is a kind of Poly Pro, it's quite thick. And I quite like it quite short at the tip, so I usually do it before it. See, this end here is actually ideal. And I'm just going to lightly roll it and trim it. And roll it with my fingers. See how it looks. These are things I like to do. I like to experiment. I mean, like when you're tying your own flies, you can do that. This is a large midge, obviously. It's a good size midge. This. Now, normally I'm going to take it back off actually, because I want to I usually do the legs first. So the legs in this case is dyed yellow. This is pre-knotted pheasant tail legs that I've just sat and knotted. It's dyed pheasant tail. You're looking for a good half dozen fibres. Tear them off. Simplest way to tie them on is actually make sure your thread's back at the cock de Leon. Just tie them straight on the top till she turns. And then you want to separate 3 either side of the body. Just like that. Just 3 either side, and then to keep them apart, just do a figure 8 through it. To turn on my side and a turn on your side. And a turn in front, just to lock them in. And then take away. There we are. So I'm going to go back to my body. So there's my body there. Tie that on the top. Now in this you'll get some ideas of bits. Like when I'm tying away I get a wee bit short. I like to fiddle, I like to mess around. I've always did this when we're tying. Now that's the thorax length. I'm halfway up just to make sure that's tied in and then leave it there. Now I've got 2 hackle. This is cock hackles. Just white cock hackle. These are off just a wee cheap Indian neck. So what I'm going to do is get the length just short of the body. I just hold the tips. One's laying at both there together, one on top of the other. And draw back the fibre. Check the length. I'm just checking both the same length here. That's fine. Then you hold these and then take away fibres so you've got the stem left and the 2 tips. Easiest way to tie them in is to lay one on top of the other. You can put them on either side or individually, it's up to you. So what I do is make sure they're lined up. Set them on the top. Till she turns. Just to hold. I want to separate these by a figure 8 again, just like I did with the legs. So just bring them out and then do a figure 8 through. Again, it just helps to separate them a wee bit. I'm going to show what it looks like. It'll pull in a wee bit, especially when you go to fish it. And then we've got the stems here, but to make sure they don't pull out, fold it back. And then I just break them off. Position the wings a wee bit better. See how they're sitting. Just midge-like. Ideal. Now I'm using this a dry fly dub in here. This one's from Full & Mill. It's called Ultra Dry Dub, and this is an orange. It's kind of a burnt orange. It's not too bright. It's just a nice colour. You want the olive to come through, so I'm just going to do the thorax area. Now the remains here is for the wing. It's actually a hackle post. So once I've got my thorax, just checking it, it's fine. I need a wee drop more. Just the inside there's a wee area that I'm just going to tidy it up. That's fine. And then the hackle, I've just got a Grizzle dyed olive, this one. It's quite dark that, but that's fine. So we bare some of the stem, tie it in front of the post, wind your thread up, and then you want to post both the hackle and your yarn. You want to come up, good half dozen turns and come back down, then end up at the front. And then you just want to basically wind your hackle. You do a turn, because it's a parachute you want to do one underneath that. As you come round, I just hold the hackle post. Just keep your way down till you get enough hackle. Don't be shy with it, you can always take it off. Now once you've got to this point, I usually bring the hackle straight down on my side, and then once I've did that, I lift these hackle fibres out the way, and then I use these 2 fingers on my left hand just to hold the hackle for a second so that I can catch it in. It's a kind of quick move. You could bind your hackle or your thread around the base of around the parachute hackle, but I don't. This holds. I've caught lots of fish with this style. Again, just lift the hackle fibres out the way. It's never be perfect, there's always one hackle you'll catch. So I'm just going to trim this away. And then just focus on tidying this up. Just tidy the head area. Doesn't have to be perfect. You could put some dubbing on, but I'm leaving it. Then again, whip finish. Just again, hold it back. Trim away. Just checking how things are sitting. Now, I'm going to just, while I'm still messing about with the hackle, I can varnish it. Just come in underneath, you want to varnish underneath. On the side of that we hackle out fibre. And there we go. Normally I'd let that dry, but we'll finish the fly, so what I do is just tap the hackle back down lightly. Trim away the hackle, the Olive Pro, just trim that away at the top. Leave enough stump. You could always put sometimes a wee drop of varnish in the base of that. And there we are. That's the olive hopper. Just bring the legs out so you can see what it's like. So once you start to cast this, it'll open out the fly. You can see the wee bar on it. It just, what it does, it darkens it down a wee bit. It gives it that Grizzle-like look as well. So there we are. So if you're going to be tying some, tie them different colours. They say the black, it's very good. Now the orange. It's exactly basically tied exactly the same way. You even get the cocktail underneath it. Good wee fly, good pattern. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And again, thanks for watching.